Have you ever had the quiet feeling that you're giving everything in a relationship? Your time, your patience, your emotional energy, only to realize you're not a main character in their life. You're a background role, present when needed, invisible when not. It's a painful awareness, and most people don't confront it. They rationalize it. They say, that's just how relationships are. I shouldn't expect too much. Maybe I'm overthinking. But here's the truth most avoid. You are not here to be someone's convenience, not their emotional backup plan, not their temporary solution. And today, we're going to uncover the subtle, often invisible signs that reveal when you're being used. Not the obvious betrayals, but the quiet patterns that slowly erode your self-worth. By the end of this video, you won't just recognize these signals, you'll know how to reclaim your position and rebuild relationships where your value is honored, not exploited. Because real relationships are not built on convenience, they're built on reciprocity. Signal 1, the weight of one-sided effort. There's a particular exhaustion that comes not from giving, but from giving alone. You're always the one initiating conversations, making plans, checking in, fixing conflicts. If you stop reaching out, silence follows. The relationship only moves when you push it forward. It feels like rowing a boat by yourself, while the other person sits back, enjoying the ride. This imbalance drains more than time. It drains dignity, because effort, when not returned, transforms into resentment. Philosophers across history warned about this imbalance, not because giving is wrong, but because self-abandonment is. Healthy relationships are mutual ecosystems. Energy flows both ways. If you're always pouring and never being refilled, you're not in partnership, you're in depletion. Signal 2, convenience-based presence. Now watch carefully. When do they show up? Is it when you need them, or when they need you? Selective availability is one of the clearest signs of being used. They call when they're struggling. They appear when they're lonely. They seek you when you need advice, comfort, or support. But when you're in need, they're busy, unavailable, emotionally distant. You become their emergency contact, but they're never yours. This isn't coincidence, it's convenience. And convenience masquerading as care is not care at all. True connection isn't seasonal. It doesn't appear only when beneficial. It remains, especially when inconvenient. Signal 3, absence of genuine interest. Pay attention to curiosity, because where genuine care exists, curiosity follows. Do they ask about your dreams, your struggles, your growth? Or do conversations always orbit around them? You listen, you support, you engage, but when you speak, their attention fades. This creates a hollow connection, where interaction exists, but understanding does not. You feel unseen, unknown, almost replaceable. Real relationships involve mutual discovery, two inner worlds learning each other. Without that, the bond becomes transactional. You're valued for what you provide, not for who you are.
Signal 4, emotional manipulation. This signal is more dangerous because it hides behind emotion. Emotional manipulation rarely looks aggressive. It looks like guilt, like pressure disguised as vulnerability. They say things like, if you cared, you would. After everything I've done for you, you're the only one I can rely on. And suddenly, you feel responsible for their emotions, their stability, their happiness, their reactions. You start abandoning your needs to maintain their comfort. This is not empathy. It's emotional coercion. And over time, it erodes your identity. You begin questioning your instincts, your boundaries, even your reality. The moment you feel guilty for protecting your peace, manipulation is present. Signal 5. Disrespect for boundaries. Boundaries reveal respect, not words, behavior. Do they honor your time, your space, your emotional limits, or do they override them? They expect instant replies, demand availability, dismiss your discomfort. When you say, "I can't," they hear, "I should." This isn't closeness, it's entitlement. Healthy relationships recognize individuality. Unhealthy ones consume it. If your limits are repeatedly ignored, you're not being valued, you're being accessed. Signal 6. The illusion of connection. Some relationships feel active, but remain shallow. You spend time together, talk often, share moments, yet something feels missing. Depth. You don't discuss fears, growth, meaning. Conversations stay surface level, safe, predictable, empty. You realize they know your schedule, but not your soul. True connection requires vulnerability, mutual emotional exposure. Without it, you're interacting, not bonding. And superficial bonds cannot sustain emotional security. Signal 7. Their absence in your darkest hours. This final signal reveals everything. Who appears when your life collapses, when you're grieving, lost, overwhelmed? Do they stand beside you or disappear? Hardship is the ultimate relationship test, because support given during struggle is the purest form of loyalty. Anyone can be present in ease, but presence in pain, that's commitment. If they vanish when you're most vulnerable, they were never deeply invested. They were connected to your strength, not your humanity. Closing, reclaiming your position. So where does this leave you? Not bitter, not cynical, but aware. Awareness is power, because once you see these patterns, you stop personalizing neglect. You stop overgiving to earn worth. You stop shrinking to maintain access. Instead, you begin realignment. You invest where effort is mutual. You speak where you're heard. You stay where you're valued. Because the truth is, you were never meant to beg for reciprocity. You were meant to meet it naturally. So if this message resonates, let it be your turning point, a recalibration of who gets access to your energy. Because relationships should not feel like survival. They should feel like expansion. And the moment you choose connections that honor your worth, you stop being someone's background character and return to being the author of your own story.